Victims of child sex offender Peter Jeffrey Farmer are suing the Victorian Education Department, saying it should have done more to protect them in the 1980s. Earlier this year, Farmer pleaded guilty to historic sex abuse cases and was jailed for 6 years. But his victims say nothing was done when the alarm was raised more than 30 years ago, allowing him to move interstate, where he was later charged with abusing children in the remote Northern Territory. And a warning, this story by Bec Symons contains confronting details.
For more than 3 decades, Lola has struggled to deal with the damage done by her teacher at Newborough Primary School, Peter Jeffrey Farmer, who sexually abused her for 2 years.
Psychological care, medications, rehabs, for substance abuse, relationships that have broken down as a result.
The abuse, often perpetrated while she was in class, is never far from her thoughts.
If you asked me at the time, and I remember I wrote him a love letter, I thought he was my boyfriend.
But the alarm was raised when Diane Smith saw Farmer abusing another girl in broad daylight on the school oval.
And he actually had his hands down a girl's pants. I was horrified. I was disgusted. It made me sick.
She told the principal, who confronted Farmer and told him not to come back on school grounds. The Education Department accepted Farmer's resignation, but his abuse didn't stop there. He successfully silenced his victims, like Jo, who says he became violent when she tried to help her friends.
Yeah, he hit me with a chair, strangled me, punched me. He followed me home from school and said, if I ever told anyone that he would kill me, my family.
Despite the abuse, no legal action was taken against Farmer, who fled the state. But 9 years later, his name emerged again. This time in the remote Northern Territory, where he'd been accused of similar crimes.
It made me angry because he should have got done here and then he wouldn't have been able to do it there.
But in 2019, one of his Newborough victims came forward to police, leading to more and more. In 2022, Farmer was arrested on the Gold Coast, but on the day of his trial, he ran away. When he was apprehended, he pleaded guilty to 10 charges from the 1980s against 5 girls from Newborough Primary. In June this year, Peter Farmer was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. His victims have now launched civil proceedings against the Victorian Education Department, but the department refuses to accept responsibility.
We're saying he could and should have been stopped earlier. They're saying, prove it.
This person, my teacher, has destroyed lives, destroyed families and destroyed people, and they were not to blame. And that's not fair.
A fight for justice after more than 3 decades of pain. Bec Symons, ABC News, Newborough.
And if this story has raised any issues for you, you can get help by calling Lifeline on 131114 or 1800 RESPECT, which is 1800 737 732.